Good morning, everyone. We'll begin our day with a prayer. I want every child to keep hands on the lap, close your eyes, and get ready for the prayer. Dear God, help us in today's class so that whatever is taught today, we are able to understand it easily. Help us to make the things easier for us. Keep your loving hand on each one of us. Now all will say the universal prayer. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom comes, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Now, my dear students, I will share my screen with you. In the previous class, we have discussed about the topic joint, but you were not able to see my screen, which I have shared with you. So I am repeating it again. Just give me a second. Okay. Navdeep, unmute yourself, beta. On the screen, I have given about 4 joints. First is ball and socket joint. Second is hinge joint. Third is pivot joint. And fourth is gliding joint. Advita, unmute yourself. Advita, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, beta. Are you able to see my screen, which I have shared with you?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So what is the first topic given there?
Ma'am, ball and socket joint.
Okay, please read this.
Yes, ma'am. This kind of joint involves two bones. One of the bone has a large rounded end which fits into a cup-like socket of the other bone.
Wait for a
This
minute,
kind
bache.
of
Wait now,
joint.
wait. Say one sentence,
Yes.
one or two sentences, and then wait. So they are saying in ball and
Okay.
socket joint, there are two bones. That means one is in the shoulder, which is rounded one, and inside that cup-like socket is fitted. That means that arm is fitted inside that. Okay, read now, bache, this kind of joint.
Yes, ma'am. This kind of joint is generally found in large bones such as shoulder joint and hip joint.
Yes. So this joint is in large bones. Now when we are talking about bones, so shoulder and hip joint is the large one. So this type of ball and socket joint is present in shoulder and hip joint.
Hip.
Okay, read beta
A
ball.
ball, a ball and socket joint provides the greatest degree of movement among different kinds of joint, including rotation, flexion, extension.
Flexion, beta, it is flexion.
Yes, ma'am. Flexion, extension,
Abduction,
abduction, and adduction.
adduction, sideways movement, which I have seen in
Adduction.
previous class. Thank you, Advita. Thank you very much. Divyanshi, unmute yourself. Divyanshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bache, can you see the second one, hinge joint?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bache, read that. Read one sentence, then I will explain, and then we'll go to the next point.
This joint is said to be a very simple joint that allows movement only in one
Axis.
axis.
One axis means in one form only, forward, backward. Like we are hinges, we have in the previous class you have seen about the door. So door cannot go round ways. It can go further and backward. So it's one axis only. Read bache second line now. It allows.
It allows only two kinds of movement, flexion and
Flexion.
extension.
Yes,
Flexion
flexion
and
is flexible, can move, and extension. Extension means we can extend it, make it little bigger also. Door we can make by adding hinges in that. You imagine if in the door that screws are not there, hinges are not there, then the door will not be open and close. It will remain in one place only. So read the example.
example of this joint is the joints found between in the elbow and knee.
Yes, so the important joints are the elbow. If elbow joint is not there, we are not able to move our arm. And if the knee joint is not there, then we are not able to move our leg. So ball and socket joint is present in the shoulder and hip joint. Hinge joint is present in the elbow and knee. Okay, beta, thank you very much. So Havi, unmute yourself. Faster, bache, I'm giving you permission, so you have to do it faster.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
beta.
ma'am.
See the
Good
third
morning,
joint.
ma'am.
Good morning. Third joint.
Pivot joint.
Yes, read that, please.
This type of joint allows rotation along one axis only.
Yes, that also hinge joint, same like that, in one position only, like forward, backward. You know about your neck, sideways, forward, backward, not going round that way. Many direction it cannot go. Okay, read the next one point there.
A common example of this type of joint is the joint of the neck. In the neck.
Atlant occipital joint in the neck. That means this word is not for you till this class. Joint in the neck. So that means in the neck, the pivot joint is present, which allows our neck to move sideways, forward, backward, little bit, whatever we can do, movements. So pivot joint allows movement in the neck. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just give me a second. Danak, unmute yourself. Danak.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Gliding
fast.
joint.
Yes.
Gliding joint. The joint is very similar to the ball and socket joint, but without rotation.
Yes. So in that rotation is not there. Like we cannot rotate the thing fully. So what it is there now after that? It allows?
It allows movement only in two axes. Example of this is the wrist joint.
Wrist joint. Wrist is where when the arm and the hand is there. In between the wrist is there where you put bangles, where you put watch. So that is the wrist joint. So it cannot without rotation. Rotation means it cannot, like we can say about this knee and elbow, forward, backward, sideways. We can move all the directions, but the wrist can go only in round little bit direction. Fully we cannot do so many things with the help of wrist. So we have done ball and socket joint. After that, we have done hinge joint. Then we have done pivot joint. And the fourth one we have done is gliding joint. Okay, bache. Now I will share my screen with you. The next one. Just give me a second to change it. Okay. Now 1 minute. Japneet, unmute yourself. Faster, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are you able to
Yes,
see
ma'am.
the screen I have shared now?
Yes, ma'am.
Skull. What is given? Skull.
Skull.
So when we have started joints, there were 4 types of joints, which we have done, and we have seen the video also in the previous class. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
the topic which we will share now is skull, because we have to study about human skeletal system. In human skeletal system, the first topic is skull. So read the first line, bache.
The skull, or known as the cranium, is the medical world, is the bone structure of the head. It
Yes.
supports
When
and
we
protects
talk
the
about,
face.
bache, read one sentence and then wait. Okay. So when we talk about skull, we call it cranium also in the medical world, means in science, medical science. And it is the bone structure and the heart structure of a head.
It supports and protects the face and the brain. The adult has a total of 22 individual bones.
Yes.
They
So,
don't.
1 minute, bache. So, what is the main function of the skull? It supports as well as protect the face and the brain. You know, face. So many parts, organs are present. Eyes, sense organs are there, as well as the brain, which is the what we can say for the brain. The
Vital function.
yes, controlling all the body parts. So the skull plays very important role. It supports and protects the face as well as brain. And the adult skull has total 20. How many bones are written? Japneet, how many bones are
22 bones.
has? Okay, wait, let me see.
Ma'am, 22.
Yes, 22 individual. I am talking to you, Japneet. Okay, fine. Um, Udita, unmute yourself. Udita,
Yes, ma'am.
बच्चे read from here. They don't move.
They don't move and
United.
united into a single unit.
They don't move. So skull don't move, but we are able to move it forward, backward, likewise, all the directions. It is very difficult to move the skull. Read the next one now. The skull performs
The skull performs vital function,
vital.
vital
Vital means
functions,
very important function. What is the meaning of vital? Udita?
very important functions.
Yes, the skull performs very important function. And what is that function? Which is written there, na? Read that, na? It supports.
Mainly, it supports and protects the head's soft tissues.
You know, in the brain, very soft and delicate nerves are there. For that reason, the skull is there on a head. So it protects and supports the very, very soft tissue which are present inside the head. Okay, bache?
The baby's skull is soft, but as the bones developed, the bones of the skull form a tough, fibrous,
Fibrous.
fibrous membrane and slowly fuse of the form a single skull.
Yes. When we see a small baby or a newly born baby, your parents mostly say, don't touch the head of the child. Why? Because that time the skull is very soft and very small bones are there in that skull. So as the baby grows, the skull becomes tough and it changes into a single skull and it becomes harder so that we are able to touch it. When the baby is born, the upper part of the skull is so soft, if we press it also, we are able to do it. Okay. Okay, Suhavi, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Read the last line. The mandible.
The mandible is the only bone that separates from other parts of the skull.
Now, what is mandible? You have heard about the lower jaw. When you are having lips, upper part, teeth, and the down part. So the lower jaw is the only part which is moving. That's why we are able to speak. So the mandible is we call it lower jaw. It is the bone that forms the lower part of the skull. So that we are able to speak. If this lower jaw was not there, we would not have been able to speak. Okay, bache, did you understand about the skull? Can you tell me what is the important
Ma'am,
function of skull?
Ma'am, it protects our brain.
It protects our brain and gives support also. Okay, bacha?
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, bache, who is there?
Ma'am Udita, ma'am, what is the meaning of membrane?
Membrane is the wall. Like we are having whatever organs we are having, na? Every organ is having the outer wall. So they are saying the skull, when the baby is born, that time it is very soft. And slowly when the baby grows, the bone of the skull becomes tough. Fibrous membrane, a wall-like things appear, which makes it very hard. Understood, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, thank you. Ridhima, unmute yourself. Ridhima, unmute yourself. I've given you permission. Okay. Anurit, unmute yourself.
Ma'am, may I
Yes,
mute?
ma'am.
Yes, others mute yourself, bache. Anurit, you do
Okay,
it.
ma'am.
Then 1 minute. I have to share my another screen so that. Okay. Bhagavi Arora, unmute yourself. Bhagavi Arora, unmute yourself. Beta, faster you people have to do. It's very easy. Okay. Bhumika Baloria, unmute. Bhumika Saval. No disturbance should not be, British disturbance should not be there. I am able to hear your sounds. Bhumika Rajput, unmute. I am giving you permission. You people are not doing. Gungun, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Gunika Baloria, because I have to share my screen so that time you all are ready to give the answer. Gunika Baloria has not done. Okay. Kishan Kaur, do it faster. Harpreet Kaur.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bache, wait for a minute. I will share my another screen with you so that you are able to give me the answer. 1 minute. Just wait a second. Just give me a second. Are you able to see the backbone function?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
First
ma'am.
participant, who must
Yes, ma'am.
please say your name first. The first participant is
Ma'am, ma'am, Gungun.
Gungun. Okay, Gungun. Please read the topic from here. What is the topic?
Backbone functions.
Yes, backbone functions. So, what is the first function of the now? Do you know what is backbone? Are you able to see the diagram here?
Yes, ma'am.
When all of you will see your head from back, you just touch the back part, and then you will see a long tube-like structure is going down till your hips at back. This is the diagram of the back part of your bone. That is known as backbone. This is having small, very small bones. Because of this only we are able to bend and stand and sit. That is known as spinal cord, or we call it backbone. Backbone is, and the other name is spinal cord. So read the first point, Gungun.
Yes, ma'am. Protects the spinal cord and it is nerve
And
roots
it is
from
what
damage.
and its nerve
It
roots
from damage.
damage. That means these bones are so delicate inside our body. They are having spinal cord outside it. A harder structure is there outside it, so that the nerves which are present, they do not get damaged. Okay, the next participant, who is the other participant after Gungun?
Ma'am, Harpreet.
Harpreet, you say the second point, beta.
It offers point of attachment fixation to the various
Fixation.
muscles.
Fixation. Repeat after me. Fixation.
Fixations.
Fixation. Fix. Say the fix word. Fixation. Yes.
Fixation to the various muscles
Tendons.
and ligaments of the back.
Ligaments. Yes. These are the words which you have studied in lower classes. So it offers points of attachment. Attachment means the spinal cord is attached to the different parts of the body so that we are able to do the movement of a body. With the muscles also, tendons also, that soft bones, and the ligaments are the bones in the joints. So these all are there, which are present, are attached with the backbone, so that they are doing their functions, very important function inside our body. Who is the next participant now? After this one, Harpreet. Gungun has spoken. Harpreet has spoken. Who is another participant? Any other girl is there?
Yes.
Say, beta.
Kasura.
Who is
The
there?
flexibility of the vertebral column helps in the various movements of the body, such as bending forwards, backward and sideways, and left and right rotation.
Yes. So what is the important function? First, it protects the spinal cord, the long tubular structure, which diagram I have shown you now. This is the spinal cord. It protects the spinal cord. Second is various attachments are there with it, so it helps that attachment to perform the function. Third one is the flexibility of the vertebral column. Spinal cord, the other name is vertebral column. In my higher classes, we'll study about it. Those who are having backbone, we are saying these are vertebrates. So the vertebral columns help in all type of movements. Which are that movements? We can bend forward also, backward also, sideways also, as well as left and right. So in all the direction, this backbone helps us to move. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
Aina, unmute yourself. Ina Singh. Insha, I have given you permission to unmute. Okay. Janvi Sharma. Japleen. Jessica. Unmute faster, girls. Devish. Others, mute yourself. Whose turn is not there? Javish, unmute yourself. Okay. 1 minute. Disturbance should not be there. Kashvi, unmute yourself. Kashvi. Prishita, I have given you permission now. You people are not unmuting. Okay, I will share my another screen with you. Just wait a minute. Just give me a second. Yes. So are you able to see this human skeletal system on your screen?
No, ma'am.
Human skeletal system you are not able to see?
Ma'am.
I have shared human skeletal system. This is the skeletal system. But I have done full brightness. See now.
No, ma'am.
Just wait a second, it will come. Disturbance is there. Tell your parents not to speak in between when you are taking the class. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand what teacher is teaching.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's coming.
Okay. Who is the first participant now?
Me.
Louder. Say your name first now. I will come to know. Huh?
Insha Chaudhary.
Insha, but say the first name you are able to see in the brain.
Cranium.
Cranium. Say the spelling.
Cranium.
Cranium. So cranium is the part where the brain is present, and it includes the bone of the face, or we can say jaws, because you know in the mouth we are having teeth, and with the teeth the jaws are there. With the help of that which we are able to move. So cranium, we are talking about bone in the brain. Are you able to see the arrow? The brain is there, and the brain, we are saying cranium. Okay, but you say the next second name.
Mandible.
Yes, this word I have told you. Can you tell me what meaning I have told you about mandible? The lower jaw. What is mandible?
The lower jaw.
Lower jaw. Lower jaw means with the help of which we are able to speak. Understood?
Speak.
Now the participant, please say your name. The participant, next participant, beta, after Insha.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your name, bache?
Ma'am, Kashvi Singh.
Okay, Kashvi, can you read the left side, the word written with S?
Scapula.
Scapula. Okay. This is also known as the shoulder bone. What is scapula known as?
Shoulder bone.
And it is the bone that connects the humerus. Humerus means When we talk about this bone, we call it humerus. What we call it, this bone? Humerus.
Humerus.
Spelling is H-U. Repeat after me, please.
H-U-M-E-R-U-S.
M-E-R-U-S. Humerus.
Humerus.
Okay, bache. Thank you. Kashvi, after that, any other participant is there whom I have unmuted? Yes, say your name, bache.
Ma'am, Trishita Gupta.
Ishita, can you read right side? One name is given there. What is that name?
Rib cage.
Rib cage. Have you heard about this word beforehand? Have you heard about this word beforehand? Disturbance should not be there, girls. Tell your parents not to speak in between. We are doing very important work here now. See, the disturbance is coming. Mute yourself. From whose side disturbance is coming? Okay. Now ribs are there. This is known as rib cage. What is it known as? Rib cage. Yes. And how many pairs of ribs are there? 12 pairs of ribs. How many pairs of ribs?
12.
12 pairs of ribs. Okay. And the first 7 pairs, repeat please after me, Rishita. The first 7 pairs
Are called true ribs.
yes, and we are having floating ribs also. See down here, I will put my arrow there. They are known as floating ribs.
Ribs are called floating ribs.
The floating ribs protects the kidney. What is the role of the floating ribs? They protect
the
kidney. Okay, fine. Navanya, unmute yourself. Any other participant who was unmuted?
Yes, ma'am.
Say your name, bache.
Ma'am, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, bache, see here now. Left side down below scapula, one word is given. Vertebrae. Can you see that word?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what is the meaning of vertebrae? Those who are having backbone. What is the meaning of vertebrae? Those who are having
Backbone.
backbone. So we are having backbone. That's why we are able to sit and stand. Otherwise, if we are not having backbone, we would have been crawling on the ground. We will not able to stand and sit. Okay, bache?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So the other participant I have unmuted is Lavanya, I think so.
Yes, ma'am.
Lavanya, can you see this radius is given? That means
Yes,
the
ma'am.
upper arm and the lower arm. In between the joint is there, which we call it. What we call this joint? क्या बोलते हैं बच्चे? upper arm? Elbow. So what name is given there for that? Radius. Half part of the arm is there now, so that is known as radius. What it is known as?
Ma'am, radius.
Yes. So the next one down is, please say the spelling.
Pelvis.
Pelvis. Pelvis. It is the joint which is present in the leg. Can you see this joint is the hip joint, and this hip joint
Yes,
is connected to our leg.
Yes, ma'am.
This pelvic girdle joins with the leg and supports the posterior outer part of the leg. Whatever the leg is joined there, it protects the whole part. You imagine if your hip is not like we are having sometime by mistake we are having an accident and the hip we get an injury in the hip. So what will happen? We will not able to sit or stand. This hip is connected with the backbone and it will not allow us to sit and stand. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next word is given, which is not in your syllabus, but still the word is given in the diagram. So that word is COCCYX. Coccyx. Tailbone. Coccyx is known as tailbone. What is coccyx known as?
Tail bone.
And whom it is touching? With the backbone down, it is coming to the hips. Bottom of the spine. This is the whole spinal cord. Spinal cord, and the down part which is there, that is the bottom of the spine, and it is called coccyx. Okay, bache. Fine. I will give chance to Navanya. Did you get chance?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get chance to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Neha Bau. Neha Bau, faster, bache. Okay. Parinika. Parinika, have you unmuted yourself? Unmute Parinika.
Yes,
Huh?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Say, bete, who is there?
Ma'am, Parinika.
Okay, Parinika. Now, can you see this femur?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me, have you heard about this word femur beforehand?
Yes, ma'am.
When we say the longest bone in the leg, which is that longest bone in the leg?
Ma'am, femur.
Yes, the longest bone of the leg is known as femur.
Femur.
And how many bones are there in the legs? Do you know that? 30
No,
bones.
ma'am,
30. 30. The total bones in the legs are 30. 30.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the function of this femur? It provides support and movement. Say beta, it provides
It provides
support
sport
and movement.
and movement.
When we are talking about the limbs, that is our arm and the leg. The arm and
Yes,
legs are the limbs. What are the arm
Yes,
and the leg? Limb.
limbs.
Okay, bache. So patella is the, you can see the joint there between the upper part of the leg and the lower part of the leg. And when we are
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about our leg, left side, this is known as tibia. This is not for your syllabus. Fibula, not for your syllabus. So that's why you have to understand about cranium, mandible, scapula, rib cage, radius, vertebrate, pelvis, coccyx, and femur. Okay, and this diagram is there on your book on page number 106. And one question is there
Okay,
for the skeletal system. So all will practice this. Pujnik, unmute yourself, beta, faster. Pujnik. Rimsha Chaudhary, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Rimsha, did you understand, bache? Who is there? No, Pujnik is there, I think so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Pujnik, did you understand about the human skeletal system?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what is the function of cranium?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is also called the skull.
Yes, and it protects whom?
And yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what?
What it protects, bache? If it is having, like, we
Ma'am,
call it
our
skull.
brain.
Yes, support and protects the brain. Yes, good.
Ma'am, it is having 22 bones.
Very good. Thank you, bache. Rujla, unmute yourself. Rujla Gupta. Rujla, have you unmuted yourself? Zainab, unmute yourself. Zainab.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bache, tell me about this pelvis. What is what we call it? Which joint it is? Pelvis?
Hip joint, ma'am.
Joint. Okay. Now, in hip joint, whom it gives support and helps to function?
Two legs.
Yes, very good. Very
Two
good.
legs.
Thank you, bache. Thank you very much. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen now. 1 minute, so that all the participants I can see. So, anybody, I'm unmuting all. Anybody wants to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
Any child wants to ask
No,
anything?
ma'am.
Whatever we have done, I will send
No,
you the question and
ma'am.
answers. Okay, thank you
No,
very
ma'am.
much.
Okay.
Bye to all.
Okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye
ma'am.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.